message earlier. He said, "Are you doing it live tonight?" Nope. He's like, He wants to...
I've been all in my bag. You been all in my business. You be all in your feelings. I've been all in them trenches. I've been all in my bag.
Hey guys, I'm Sai, and welcome to Ace Podcast Nation, the home of our wrestling series, Keepin It Real with Andrew Thompson. The show is available video format, youtube.com/Ace Podcast Nation, and of course the audio versions at every podcast platform available around the world. You can even get it on Audible, Amazon, Spotify, Stitcher, anywhere, everywhere. And of course, Ace Podcast Nation, you're home to many other great shows and series featuring top guests, expert analysts and more. Just subscribe to that YouTube channel, click the bell for notifications, and you'll get a notification every time we go live, every time we upload new interviews, new content, and new shows. But I'm delighted to be back with you, talking wrestling with none other than Post Wrestling's writer, interviewer, the man with the best wrestling interviews on YouTube. It is Mr. Andrew, the GOAT Thompson. How goes it, my friend?
How goes it, my Carterville brethren?
Oh, good, mate. Very, very good. Very good indeed. I'm like wide awake because normally when we record our shows, I've quite often on the back of another show.
You did about 8 podcasts before
before I get to this one, but I'm like fighting fit today. I'm like, come on, first podcast of the day, let's go. But we were just talking off air about Andrade, who has asked for his release according to multiple sources. Not surprised, but I am disappointed because I feel like he is special and he should already be like a main event star. He should be he should have already be like a multiple time, IC title holder or US title holder or tag team champion. Like, he should be in that little slot between them, which we've talked about loads, isn't it? About having the rotating main eventers, whereby some of them are not necessarily top tier, but they can slot into that main event for a feud versus a Roman Reigns or whoever. He is that guy. He should be that guy. Him and Zelina Vega together was perfect. It looked like they were going to give him a push, and then they moved Paul Heyman to SmackDown, and his push died. We haven't seen him since. He's been on nothing, never mentioned again. He's in catering with Aleister Black, mate, and it's disappointing. But the man wants to work, I should imagine. Disappointing. Waste WWE from their point of view. It's a waste what they've done with him, isn't it, on the main roster?
Yeah, I saw that. Dave Meltzer provided an update via the FOW Online website, and he said that the release got denied.
I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised. I think we won't see a time for a great period of time, like, but before we see the day. Like, I think, look, let me rephrase that. I think it's gonna be a long time before we see the day when somebody asks for their release and it gets like immediately granted. Like, unless they just aren't of that high caliber level, like they, because Andrade, I think he has a very, very great appeal to him. Like, just not even the in-ring stuff. Like, he's just like
he's got everything, mate.
He's got everything. He literally does. And
but
like, I think like the thing with WWE is like they bring in a lot of talent, and they don't realize when you have this abundance of talent who are superstars outside or what were superstars before they came into your company, or very high profile talents, and like you don't give them anything to work with, and they off TV for months and months. Like, I don't even think it's just a thing of they hate where they are, they hate the company. Like, dude, they just want to wrestle. Like, you got to put them on TV and give them something to work with. And I think that's another thing with Andrade, like his NXT run. I think he started off kind of rough, but I think once he
Right.
got paired with Zelina Vega, I think that's when everything started to
That
click.
was
He
the
had,
game
one
changer.
of the better NXT title runs a recent memory, and he
Yeah.
had the match with Johnny Gargano at the Takeover Philly. I think that's one of the
Wow.
greatest matches of all time. Like I
Superb.
still remember that to this day, and I remember watching it live. I think that was probably the most animated that I've ever been watching a wrestling match. Like legit, like I was like on the edge of my seat, like
Yeah.
that shit was crazy. Like that was a
Which
great
takeover was that?
the Philadelphia January 2018. Like it was that match was insane, and yeah, like when he got to the main roster, dude, like I think a lot of people have a lot of expectations, including yourself. I know you probably did. Like when he first got
Yeah,
called
I
up,
did. Yeah.
a lot of people thought he was gonna, I'm not saying everybody thought he was gonna immediately be hot shot into the WWE title or the Universal title, but I think everybody thought it was gonna be either IC champion, US champion, and then he was gonna
Yeah, for sure.
float between that and challenging or eventually becoming a world champion. He has the appeal of he's Andrade is obviously very popular in Mexico and amongst the Spanish speaking audience. I think he's very well liked. And then you have the stuff with as far as the release goes. Like I was thinking, I know a lot of people were thinking about AEW, but I was thinking more so along the lines of he could potentially head to ROH and then be partnered with Roosh, and I think they could link back up again. And I think that also leads it does that because ROH's relationship with CMLL and then New Japan, so that automatically has the door open for him to both of those, and that's spotlighted in three companies just based off signing off one. You got the contract with ROH, and then you keep working in CMLL and then New Japan. Like I think that's like one of the better options for him. But yeah, I think Andrade has leverage right now. I mean, like if he, of course, it's reported that his release didn't get granted. So I mean, he stay in WWE and make bank, and then if they decide to go, he got plenty of options on the table. Like I think he's a winner in this situation, but obviously quite frustrated because he can't get out.
I'm sure that, and this is there's a couple of things that I would say about it. One of the things which infuriates me is, they won't give him his release.
Let me rephrase that one thing. I meant to say the Latinx audience. My bad.
Yeah. So what infuriates me is the reason they won't give him his release is because they know he's super talented. And he will go wherever he goes. He will more than likely be successful, have a good run, and they will look stupid. Like the looking stupid bit, I'm sure it doesn't bother them, but they won't release him because he's so talented, and that's infuriating. So they know how good he is and the appeal he has to certain parts of the audience. They know he's got a good look. He's good in the ring. If you put him with someone who can talk, he's got everything. They know that, but yet they've still failed to do anything of substance with him. Now, I completely agree. I said to you before we started recording, I saw a lot of people saying, he'll go to AEW and he'll do really well. I don't doubt that if he did go to AEW, he would do well, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. But ultimately, I think a New Japan run is the way to go for him. And what you said makes perfect sense because he can work in Mexico. CMLL is in Mexico, isn't it? I haven't got that wrong. And they can still work New Japan. That makes the most sense. And like you say, working with Roosh, they'll have some good stuff.
But that's his dog, bro. Like that's his real life
best friend.
Yeah,
is it?
Yeah.
But there was when things were going well for Andrade in WWE and NXT, and when he first got called up, that was around the time that everyone thought Roosh was going to go to WWE, and then obviously he signed with Ring of Honor.
Roosh wanted that bag. That's what he wanted.
Yeah. Well, if you told me that, Andrade is going to AEW, you have to find something for him to come in and be like a top guy. I think I would align him with Jade Cargill. I think I said her name right. And I'd align him with Proud and Powerful. And I would give him his own stable with Jade as the mouthpiece.
There's too many stables in AEW right now.
Yeah,
bro.
but I would use that to end the Inner Circle, by having Proud and Powerful break off to go with Andrade, I'd have Jake Hager stay with Jericho as whatever, and I'd have Sammy Guevara go off on his own and be a single star, and yeah, that's what I would do. I'm kind of over the Inner Circle now. I think there's been some stuff outside of the ring which has soured me a bit on him, on certain members, which is a shame because I really like Proud and Powerful. I really like Sammy Guevara, even though he's had some issues outside of the ring and stuff. He, is what it is. Let's like professionals. Let's go nicely with a link from that into the Inner Circle and the new Horseman stable, I guess you'd call him, who's the closing angle on AEW Dynamite this week. What did you think of the angle, first of all? And did you see the double shock, I suppose, come in, whereby, first of all, you had the Inner Circle seem as if they were going to turn on Jericho, and then they were setting up MJF, and then it turned out double swerve. He had his own stable come into play. What did you make of it all?
So, firstly, I will never see Chris Jericho as a babyface again. I just can't.
Yeah, that's my problem.
Especially after, like I said, the off-screen stuff. It's just impossible for me to look at him in that light. But as far as everybody else, like excluding him, I think it was a good little closing angle. I think everybody kind of saw MJF being the one to kick him out of the group, but I kind of like the idea of him starting his own thing. Like I'm kind of curious of how this pairing came about. Like, cause it seems kind of random. Like with him, FTR, Sean Spears, and Warlow. Not Warlow more per se, but like I'm just curious of how they explain the FTR Sean Spears aligning with MJF kind of thing. I think that's gonna be it's gonna be interesting to hear how they break that down. But I think those two pairs are definitely gonna be the teams that's gonna compete in the I think those teams are gonna be the first pairs to compete in the next Blood and Guts whenever that happens.
Yeah, I think so. I wonder whether they may do 2 Blood and Guts matches on the same night, because you've obviously got that Bullet Club back, like the New Japan Bullet Club versus the AEW club kind of simmering along in the background, but I don't know. But with this new stable, I saw someone on social media, I think it was on Facebook, they were pointing out that there's been some little skits. I don't know if they've been on social media or on Dark or on various bits of content of Sean Spears, FTR, MJF, Wardlow, maybe just doing like little betting on stuff and just little skits, going back quite a way. And this person was sort of saying, maybe they're gonna kind of retcon some of that stuff, or maybe it was a little hint all that time ago. I think that Tully Blanchard will be the catalyst for it all. And I tell you what, if you want your potentially, like you've got MJF, arguably one of the best heels in the world, certainly gonna be in the coming years. If you want like an old head with him, advising him, telling him stories, giving him tips, Tully's the guy, isn't he?
Yeah, I think that the best option in AEW right now for sure. Especially because I was very surprised at Tully when he wrestled the other week. I was like very surprised. I was like, how old is it? When he's like 60, 50 something?
Gotta be. I would not be surprised if he was close to 70.
I was be honest. I was very surprised. He moved very well in the ring. I think they put him in the right spots. Like they didn't leave. Yeah. They didn't leave any room for him to get like exposed.
67.
Like they didn't leave like any room for him to get exposed. Like he was like always in the right spot. And then of course having JJ Dillon to the outside was a nice little plus. But Tully surprised me, man. I'm glad he got to have his little his hoorah moment. And then he I think I heard Jake Roberts say on a podcast that after the match, Tully was signing autographs and taking pictures and all that. People wanted to, he got to live in the limelight one more time, man. So that was cool.
That's cool. I've got a theory. You won't agree with it, I know, but I got to throw it out there. My theory is that in the next month, Cody Rhodes is going to turn heel and align himself with this group and be kind of like the not the leader, but like the person behind it. And here's why.
Cody and MJF?
Cody and MJF. It was all a ploy to break up the Elite, first of all. So you had FTR they ended the Elite by getting in Hangman's ear. And then MJF tried to do the same to the Inner Circle. And Cody Rhodes will turn heel and they'll kind of all come out and it'll be like a big master plan. That's what I think is coming. I don't necessarily think that's the right way to go because I think that MJF needs to be the leader. I'm very, very pleased that Wardlow is still with MJF. I was worried that they might be looking to break him off and give Wardlow a little babyface run on his own. And, that'll come eventually, no doubt. But I love them as a pair together. And I like this group. Were you surprised? Like Sean Spears was the guy, like the fourth guy, if you like?
I think it was more so like
because he's already aligned with Tully and
no, not even. It's just like I didn't. Well, let me just say I just didn't like really find it like that interesting that he was in there. I don't know if that. I think it's just because like
who would you have put in there instead of him then? If you could pick one other person to go there, who would you have put there? That slot. Like you had to pick someone. Who would it be?
I was about to say nobody, to be honest with you. I thought I was going to say MJF, FTR, and Wardlow.
MJ.
You got your powerhouse, you got your tag team, got your main event singles talent.
Yeah.
Like,
so I'm telling you, you have to pick someone. So you got to pick someone. Who would you pick from that roster? It's difficult, isn't it?
I'm picking you.
Me. Yeah. Well, do you think they're going to go the Horseman route in terms of calling it some sort of like?
No, I don't think there's no need to put that label on because
the Midnight Horseman.
Jesus Christ! But like, I don't think there's no need to put that unnecessary label on them because all it's going to do is create unnecessary standards and comparisons and stuff like that. You don't.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't need that. Like, everybody already looks at them as this. Not everybody, but I mean, like that's kind of the perception is this modern day Horseman group, and like the perception is enough. You don't need to get on TV and start calling them the Horsemen.
One of the reasons why I think they may reveal Cody as the kind of guy is after the Tully's match the other week. You had Arn Anderson came out on the stage and threw up the 4, and I just thought it was very. I know they've got all this history and blah blah blah. But like we've seen Arn Anderson and Tully kind of feuding when Cody has been fighting Sean Spears and whatnot, and like it just felt a bit out of place. So I don't know. It's just a theory. It's just
like if they want to turn Cody heel, they could just have him challenge for the AEW World Title. That's a heel turn. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, have him come out there and say, "I want to challenge AEW. I want to challenge for the AEW World Title because I can. Because I can. Yeah. Like, there you go. Heel Cody Rhodes. Like, it's literally that simple, bro. Like, it's literally that simple. I promise you, it's that simple.
What do you think of my idea for Andrade if he does go to AEW? Andrade, Jade, and Proud and Powerful as a trio.
That's odd as hell.
Do you think? I
think
they'd be quite good.
I'd
take Proud and Powerful out of it and just what about Jade as his mouthpiece?
Nah, man, Jade can wrestle.
Well, of course, yeah. She should still do her singles stuff and her women's wrestling stuff and that, but her just being like aligned with him.
Nah, I'm not really a fan of that. I think Jade need to stay on her own, like especially after seeing her performance. But she's a superstar in her own right, bro.
Oh, she is, bro.
Like I don't think you need.
They could sign Zelina Vega, mate.
They could,
whoever.
They could, but I don't think like. I know a lot of people think that would be cool, but I just saying like I know people would immediately jump to the idea that it's just a rehash of what they did in WWE. Like it's no point in doing that. Though. Like, but it was good in WWE. That don't mean it's gonna be good in AEW.
But it could also be better because you got more logical booking and all this sort of stuff. However, I think Aleister Black is not going to be far behind in asking for his release unless they do something with him. Do you also, just going back to Andrade, do you think him asking for his release might change the situation? Like they might think, right, come on, let's find something for him and do something with him, because there's so much they could do with him. Just as like we've discussed, he's got the look, the work, everything, but also he's engaged to Charlotte Flair, one of your biggest female stars, and you're telling me that you can't do anything with them as a pair. I don't necessarily want to see that, but come on now, it's just stupid. What was your favourite match since we last spoke? I think, did we do a show last week? I think we did, didn't we?
It's a blur, bro. I don't even remember what I did yesterday.
Finn Balor versus Adam Cole was good.
Yeah, that
was real good, I thought.
That was really good.
Io Shirai versus Toni Storm was very good as well. NXT actually was good this week, I thought. AEW is in a real good groove of booking their shows. They're moving storylines along, and I'm quite enjoying it. But NXT, I feel like, has really been quite strong in the last, maybe month.
Yeah, they got the 2-night takeover coming up, man, and the women's tag team titles. I don't know why they had Dakota Kai.
So weird.
No, see, what I was thinking was like, when I first saw that, I was like, why in the hell would you have them win the title just to lose it later in the night? But I was thinking maybe the entire time they were supposed to have Dakota Kai and Raquel beat Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, but that didn't get approved, so they just wanted to give them the first ever label. That's like what I was. I mean, it was still
weird.
Yeah,
though,
it was still weird, but like that's like one of the things that came to my mind about it.
Yeah, and maybe they were expecting to win.
The tag team titles. Yeah,
I gotta be honest. I'm little bit disappointed that they brought in the NXT Tag Team Women's Championship. Like, I get it because they've got so many good women in NXT that it makes sense to have the tag team titles. But I would have much rather them go and beat Nia and Shayna and then have Triple H do something with the WWE tag team titles, have them occasionally turn up on Raw or SmackDown. It just feels like,
but they gotta have the two people facing off at WrestleMania being tag team champions or possibly Bianca and Sasha's feud does not need this tag team titles, bro. Those are like two of the most charismatic people that they have in the division right now. I don't
like this Reginald stuff either. I think it's pointless.
It's because they're like, he's too involved, bro.
It's also like, it's very fillery, like filler content, and it's like that Fastlane pay-per-view. They haven't really got anything for Sasha and Bianca to do. I'd rather them not touch each other and not like. Bro, I'd rather them build it that way.
I was gonna add real quick, like, they got too many pay-per-views because it creates like this unnecessary reason to build to certain pay-per-views. Like, bro, WrestleMania is like 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks away, bro. Like, it's no reason for you to have a pay-per-view in between there. Like, it should be Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, and then nothing else between that until WrestleMania.
Yeah, Elimination Chamber should be the last one.
Bro, that gives you so much room to build up to WrestleMania. And then you only how many matches are set for WrestleMania right now? We got Brian. I mean, we got I was about to say Brian Roman, but Brian's not in it, but I think he's gonna get put in it.
Do you think this is the least organized they've been in terms of their WrestleMania card? It seems like they still don't know what they're doing.
Nah, but they do this shit every year.
And we're weeks away.
They do this shit every year, bro. I don't know why people surprised. They do this like last minute announcements, like stuff.
But when I was younger, the WrestleMania card was pretty much, you knew what it was around Royal Rumble. Yeah. And then by a couple of weeks after the Royal Rumble, half the matches were already set. It just feels very like haphazard and unorganized. Quick question, WrestleMania. From the SmackDown side, looks like we're going to get Edge versus Reigns. Do you think that gets made a triple threat with Daniel Bryan?
They should.
Almost. They should. I agree with that. However, AJ Styles doesn't have anything at the moment, and I can't see anything. Neither does Bayley. Yeah. So
do you carrying that division for the past
year? With it being a 2-night thing, when Roman Reigns beats Daniel Bryan at Fastlane, what about AJ Styles making an open challenge to all brands for someone to face him at WrestleMania, and Daniel Bryan answers the challenge, and they do a cross-brand like a open challenge match, AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan, and even I'd do it as an 30-minute Iron Man match or something, and just let them go out there and kill it for 30 minutes. Because you've got 2 nights, so it's almost like you could do something like that. And you can always add some stakes to it, like the winner gets a title shot or, whatever it may be. Some of the rumoured matches I'm going to ask you about, and I just want you to quickly say who you would think should win, and
where these rumoured matches coming from though?
So these are from the New Observer's newsletter, by the looks of it. But they are being reported by somewhere else. So it's just you've got 2 confirmed matches: Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks. I think we both agree that Bianca should win. Do we not?
No, I think Sasha should win.
Just testing you, because we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago. We both agreed that we think Sasha should win. I actually think Bianca should win the title in around SummerSlam time.
Yeah.
And they should give Sasha a real good run first. Edge versus Roman is currently, I don't know if it's confirmed or announced.
No, it is.
Seems.
It is.
So they got that.
But it's just a fast lane thing that's in the,
Yeah. Would you go with finding Daniel Bryan something else, or would you just add Daniel Bryan to that?
No, add him to the title match, bro. This Mania, bro. Add him to the title match. And then and then whoever wins can just face the winner that didn't get pinned. Just face the person that didn't get pinned in the match.
And the other thing is as well, you could have, Daniel Bryan could take the loss, couldn't he? You don't have to beat Edge if you don't want to. Then, if you've got a triple threat,
you want to know what I think is going to happen? I think. Well, my fact, I'm going to agree with you. I think that Bryan, if he gets added to the match, I think he takes the pin at Mania, and then Roman beats Edge the following pay-per-view. That's what I think.
Maybe. And then some other rumored matches. We have Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre. I don't think that happens. I think we're going to see Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre. I think they'll do a monster triple threat for that title. But let's go with what it says here, which is Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre.
I can see Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre versus Keith Lee.
Yeah. Or they could do Keith Lee versus Brock, just in a singles match, number 1 contender match, whatever. I'd be very surprised if Keith Lee's not in a big slot, if he's fit and healthy to go, because they seem to be. They were priming him for that before he was out. Lashley's got to keep winning, haven't he? Until
Lashley is the man, bro.
Until he faces Bork Laser.
He is the man right now. I'm rooting for everybody black, bro. I'm sorry. Well, I'm not even sorry about that. I am.
No, man.
That's the third black WWE champion, bro. It's beautiful to see. I'm happy to see it.
Yeah.
Glad to see it.
But isn't it it's sad that it's taken this long for that? That shouldn't even be. You know what I mean?
It really should. Bro.
You shouldn't be able to
is,
name how many black champions there's been, because there's been so many over the years.
Pro wrestling is like the thing that kills me about it is when people don't realize that it's a scripted sport, bro. You can literally put the title on anybody, and the fact that there's only been 3 throughout the history of this specific company, it's crazy.
It is, right. Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon looks like a shaping up. Just weird. Shane McMahon's promos have been weird. I don't really get it. I can't even really see what they're trying to do with it. I get Shane's calling him stupid.
What is his beef with Strowman?
Why is he picking on Braun, calling him stupid? I don't really get it. I'm sure just give me a reason. I just need Shane at some point to do a promo and go back to something that happened where maybe Strowman, when he was on a rampage, did something to him, hurt him, injured him, pushed him, whatever. Just give me something. Don't just make it Shane McMahon thinks he's dumb and that's it. That's his reason for challenging someone who's going to murder him.
He about to reveal that he's Strowman's real father. That's the storyline.
Yeah, there we go. And then we have Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt, which looks, I think, to me, because of everything they've done with this angle, this has to be a Firefly Funhouse match. I just can't see another way. like after everything which they've done with this angle, which I've really enjoyed, and as you know, I love all the callbacks and all the different stuff. It's different. If it would feel like a real letdown if they just had a one-on-one match with Alexa Bliss in the corner as a manager. Do you see what I mean? Like even if the Fiend comes back with a new look and all this different stuff,
I need a 20-minute. I need a 20-second squash, bro. That's it.
Well, this I think I said that to you last week, wasn't it? If they have a wrestling match, it's got to be over in like a minute with the Fiend looking more dangerous and different look, and like it needs to be that. But if they do the Firefly Funhouse, I've got no problem with that, because I feel like they did with Cena last year, there's a lot of stuff they could do with Randy Orton. There's so much history between these two, but they can also hark on some of Randy Orton's stuff, and there's stuff to be told. There's stuff that could be entertaining. And then you finish. What I would do, though, I wouldn't, because there's going to be fans that are in there. So what I would do is, what was it? There was a match years ago at WrestleMania. Forget who it was. Sure, Michaels might have been in it. And they did it started in the ring. They went backstage and did all this stuff. And then it came back and they kind of made their way back to the ring. And they finished in the ring. And I feel like you could do the start similar to what they did with Cena. Go to the Firefly Funhouse. Do all the weird shit. And then end up back in the ring. The Fiend squashes him in 20 seconds. The Fiend is stronger than ever. Randy Orton goes away for a bit and comes back whenever. Do you think, or should I say, would you do a IC title or a US title or a tag team title ladder match? I would personally like to see a tag team ladder match. I want to see Big E in a big singles match, and I'd like to see the US title in a big singles match as well. I'd like to see Riddle versus Ali.
Bro, I think Big E's about to drop the title to Apollo at Fastlane. I definitely think they about to. But
what do you think of Apollo's new gimmick, mate?
But at first, I really wasn't feeling it, because I was like, why does he have to be a heel to be proud of his culture? Like, I mean, Drew McIntyre is proud of his culture, and he's not a heel. Like, I was just wondering why they were doing it. But like the more I'm starting to see it, bro, I'm like, it's some stuff that I don't like about it, but like at the same time, I'm like, it's kind of working for me a little bit. Like he seems very comfortable in the role.
He does seem comfortable doing it,
and like
more comfortable than he's ever been.
And bro, he seems like more, like, I don't know, like he has a better appeal to him. Like it's so weird how they like how it's like, I don't know. It's just, for me, like, it's starting to like work now, and I'm starting to like even when I seen him last night when he attacked Big E, and like seeing how like just like how intense Apollo is now, the character is. I was like, damn, like maybe they should put a title. And I like Big E. I like Big E a lot. But like I was just saying Apollo. I was like, maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea if they put a title on him, like further push this character forward. But at the same time, like, I know a lot of people want Big E to head into Mania as champion, and then you got the stuff with Rollins and Nakamura and Cesaro, and I think that's IC title worthy. Like they got like, they in like a weird spot right now with the IC title, bro.
SmackDown's been so good, haven't it?
Not weird. But you know what I mean.
Yeah. They're the bulls. The thing is, what SmackDown's got is you've got Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, and Edge all built well. Then underneath that, you've got Big E, who's been booked and built exceptionally well as champ. But then you've also got former world champ Seth Rollins. You've got Apollo, who's got this new gimmick where he's found a bit more aggression, but also looks natural in his character. He looks comfortable. You've got Seth Rollins, who's a former world champion, looks a lot more comfortable where he is now than he did doing the Messiah stuff. Even though it's very similar, it's just that slight tweak I think has made it a bit better. You've got Cesaro, who's been on fire recently. Nakamura's been doing pretty good stuff recently. But so you've got a whole group of guys.
I was going to add in real quick. You know, with Nakamura, they want the theme song to get played at Mania in front of fans. You know they want that. They do. You know they want it.
So do we get Big E versus Apollo versus Seth versus Cesaro versus Nakamura versus Sami Zayn versus Baron Corbin. So
that's a lot.
7-way ladder match.
That's like a bit
maybe
of a cluster.
let's take Corbin out of there and have a 6. So it'd be Big E, Apollo, Seth, Cesaro, Nakamura, and Sami.
So what are you doing night 2?
Good ladder match. And then the next night you could have Riddle versus Mustafa Ali.
That's happening next week though.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? They're burning through these matches. Who else? So let's assume Riddle's still the US champion. Who could you put in the US title Mania feud? Like, who would be a good matchup for him? I'd like to see him versus Goldberg for the US title. I think that'd be quite cool. If Goldberg loses, Riddle versus Brock, dare I say, for the US title.
Jesus Christ, sir.
Why not? Why not?
We ain't never giving you the pin, bro. Ever.
Why couldn't Brock Lesnar not be in like a prominent match, which isn't the world title picture? Why he doesn't always have to be in the world title picture? It can still be featured prominently. I don't know who else. Like, Raw is like, so we just talked about SmackDown having that cluster of guys all really being booked well and creatively doing well, and then you look at Raw, they haven't got that group of guys. Mustafa Ali and Retribution is kind of treading water. Riddle's doing okay, but there's no one else. Like Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin are both in a stable and a tag team.
Let's say on the Brock Riddle thing. I mean, I can get why people find that appealing. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing, but just the U.S. title, that I feel like it should just be, if that were to happen, it should just be something that should happen without any title. I feel like it's.
Do you not think if Brock went for the U.S. title, because I don't know if he's ever held it, so say he's never held it, that's his motivation, and plus Riddle's got it and he doesn't like Riddle. Like, do you not think that adds like a bit of, what's the word? Just give. I mean, no,
I don't think. Lift. I don't think it does, bro. Because he wins the title and then takes it, and then goes away. Like,
yeah, but like that's where you've got to have Riddle win, haven't you? Like, I only want to see Riddle versus Brock or Goldberg. I know it's unlikely, but I would like to see Riddle beat either one if they were going to do that match. And plus, if they do those feuds, they have to use all that social media stuff, which got like. The whole thing started with him, slagging him off and calling him shit.
But like going back to the SmackDown side with Apollo,
yeah,
I think it'd be cool if they went and got Prince Nana from he used to work in ROH. Like he used to do like kind of the same thing that Apollo is doing right now. But like
I was gonna ask you,
but
like who could you give him as people?
The thing with Prince Nana is he's like legit royalty. Like I mean, like legitimately, like he has like a royal status, bro. Like no bullshit. Like, and I think that would be like really, really cool, and it would add a lot of legitimacy to the group. Yeah. Like even though Apollo is legitimately Nigerian, but still, like I feel like it would just add more by having somebody who has like legit royal status. Like, I just think that would add so much to the thing. But I think Apollo's. I think just from what I've seen so far, like I wasn't too big on it initially, but now it's like. It's growing on me a little bit. So, and I just want to see him like actually do something like after all these years of like not doing nothing. Like, I mean, for the Raw side, I mean, you could always have MVP win the U.S. title back and just have the Hurt Business have all the
have all the titles.
Have all the titles.
I think he's got a bad knee, haven't he, at the moment?
Yeah.
So I was just looking at the Raw roster because obviously you were saying like who would you have on night 2 for the US title? You could have got like Angel Garza. He's been booked like shit. Ricochet's on main event.
Where is Angel Garza? Like he was in the Bad Bunny stuff, wasn't
he? Yeah, I think so. So you could have. I mean, you could do Punishment Martinez versus. I always call him Punishment Martinez. I know you know what I mean.
You know what he doing that Mania.
Yeah, he's doing the Miz and Morrison.
Oh yeah, you know that's happening. You know that's happening.
I mean, you could. What about AJ Styles versus Riddle versus Ricochet in a triple threat? That'd be a banger.
That would be good. Because
That'd be,
bro,
I mean,
they just
any
need
combination of those three as well.
They just need something for night 2, bro. Like, they need something, bro. Because like night 1 isn't even fulfilled yet. So
yeah, I think AJ versus Riddle could be quite good. But add Ricochet in there or add Mustafa Ali in there. There's quite a good little triple threat. What are we going to do with Bayley, mate? Because they have just forgotten about her.
Man, size looking real WrestleMania Battle Royal-ish, bro.
Yeah, I'm just having a quick look at the SmackDown roster.
Maybe she faces the winner of Banks Belair.
Well, on night 2.
Yeah, on night 2. Bro, because that like me, like I. So for the main event of night. So I think Reigns, Edge, and Bryan should close night 2. I think that should close night 2. I think Banks and Belair has the possibility. It could close night 1.
Yeah.
But I think it just depends on what the WWE title match is going to be. Like if Brock is involved, then it needs to be Lashley Brock. Like that's like and Banks and Belair. Like I think that the historic nature of it would have been the first time that 2 black women are going to be competing for a world title at WrestleMania, a championship at WrestleMania, or the possibility of them headlining that. I think that's very, very historic, and that's enough to warrant that main event. But at the same time, like if it's Lashley getting this marquee, thing against Lesnar, then I think a lot of people will want to see that headline. But I mean, you could go either way with it. Honestly, I don't think people will complain about either one. But going back to
the triple threat idea of Lashley, Lesnar,
and Drew.
Yeah, but I think they'll add Brock in quite late, like in the last couple of weeks, though.
But going back to what you were saying about Bayley, like I don't know what they're gonna do. Like she literally had the division on lock for like the past year, outside of when she lost the title before she lost the title to Sasha Banks. And she did like a really good job of leading WWE through the pandemic era for the women's division. So I feel like they need to find something for her to do, bro. Like maybe she challenges for the women's tag titles, maybe.
Yeah, who would you partner her up with?
Carmella, maybe.
She's annoyed everyone. Yeah, they had a little stint, didn't they?
Yeah, they're good friends. So I mean, maybe.
What do you make of the Bayley and Tamina partnership? You interested?
You mean Natalya and Tamina?
Yeah, sorry, Natalya and Tamina.
It give them something to do.
Yeah, I like that. I like that Natalya's doing something a bit different to what she's been doing for so many. Like she's had the same gear and the same gimmick for so long that it was a bit frustrating. Yeah, I just trying to look at the SmackDown women's roster. Yeah, it's just.
Man, I think they
get her over on Raw and do Oscar versus.
I feel like they
Bayley
could be doing so much more with Liv Morgan, bro.
Yeah, well, mate, there's so many of the women that they're not doing a lot with, which they could do so much better.
I say, look, you mentioned Oscar. Let's talk about her. She out with a concussion right now. So,
do you think she's back in time for Mania?
Bro, concussions are serious, bro.
So unpredictable.
Look at Samoa Joe, bro. Like they haven't even let him come back yet. Like they taking it very, very serious. I'm pretty sure the concussion protocol in all professional wrestling is taken very seriously. I don't think that's something that people should take lightly just because the brain, because that shit can mess you up years from now after your post-ring career. So, like, I'm pretty sure Oscar don't want to, have anything like lingering injuries post her wrestling career. But I feel so bad for her, bro, because I feel like I feel like they were gonna it was gonna all come down to Lacey Evans and Charlotte at WrestleMania. I think Lacey was gonna beat her. And then, that's when they was gonna go to the Charlotte match. I feel bad. But Oscar has always been like a fill-in champion. Like when they don't have,
like always put on the back burner.
Yeah, it's like when they don't have like a solidified plan. It's like let's go with Oscar. It's like let's give her the title until we need her to drop the title to this person. Like even before Mania 35, when she was supposed to face Sonya Deville at that Mania, and they took the title off her and put it on Charlotte to have the double title match. I felt bad for her then. Like I felt bad. I mean, see, hindsight being 2020, I'm not necessarily like too upset about the I'm not upset at all about the her losing the streak. I feel like that had to happen eventually. Yeah. And it was a great match anyway, so it was just like she'll get over it. But I feel like they just haven't really done a good job in presenting Asuka in the manner that she was presented prior to you know what I'm saying.
Frustrating, isn't it? Because she's so talented. Just you mentioned Samoa Joe. He did an interview with Sports Illustrated at the start of March, saying that basically the pandemic has kind of held up his maybe getting clearance and stuff. I wonder if there's a possibility that we see him on the Raw after Mania make a little, like, attack someone or something from the booth, or they might just save it and just whenever they need a bit of freshening up, they'll have him come back for a feud here and there. He's so talented and so entertaining, though. It's such a shame that he and AJ Styles didn't really get to have the big runs that they had now, like in the WWE. That they didn't get to have them when they were a little bit younger, because they're so talented. Little question for you. Dax Harwood of FTR and AEW has said that Chad Gable's contract is up soon, in the next couple of days.
Did he say that directly, or did he? What was his exact phrasing? Because I think people kind of. I don't think they took it out of account, but I think I just need to
people jumped on it quick.
I need to what did he say exactly?
He said Harwood, the AEW tag team, blah, blah, blah. He responded, couldn't help himself by responding with the following on Twitter: "Wait, what's all this number one talk? I know you're not allowed to respond to me publicly for about 2 months, or 2 more months, but come on, man. Here's your number one." So basically, he replied to a tweet from Chad Gable, who said he's number one or whatever. He said you're not allowed to reply to me publicly for 2 months. So that would indicate that his contract's up in 2 months. He might just be playing, couldn't he? But it's interesting because Howard also suggested that Gable and Jason Jordan might get back together by saying maybe we should run this back too. And it was like a picture of American Alpha versus FTR. I think that one he's kind of just reminiscing about what was an incredible match. But I would say that, you don't know. Workers work, mate. Workers be working. But, Chad Gable's contract is up this year. I've seen that reported in multiple places. Do you think he goes? He should go.
I think he's going to resign.
They're using him. He's when did I miss something? Like, why did Otis turn heel? I know he's been heel for a while, but why did he turn heel?
Is he heel? Or he's just like,
well, he was teamed with Dolph Ziggler and bloody Bobby Roode yesterday.
I know that, and that was ridiculous. But like they I don't know, bro.
So strange.
I don't know why they even broke up Heavy Machinery, but like that just seemed like it was when. And Tucker, like, he's like, I haven't seen that dude in forever, bro.
he's now and again he'll run. Well, before Bad Bunny had the 24/7 title, you'd see him run across chasing it now and again.
Bro, but
why did they break him? What a waste to break him up.
I think that Otis was always the star of the group. Like, he was always gonna be the guy. Like, you can even look at their social medias, bro. Like, Otis, like. He's like very like much more popular than Tucker is. Like that was bound to happen. Like the split up. Like, it's like just that vastly different as far as character work.
They were very popular as a tag team.
They should have kept them together, bro. They should have
because I don't think either guy is like gonna be
world champion.
Yeah. So, but as tag team, they were supremely popular.
They should have kept them together, bro.
And like WWE now has got a few tag teams again, but like they decimate their tag team divisions like almost on a yearly basis. They build them back up and then they just split them all up again. When is Jimmy Uso back?
But Jay Uso said he was like early 2021. He was working out at the PC recently. So I mean, it's probably just a matter of like them finding the right spot to bring him back.
Do you think?
Bro, Jay Uso is like he's hitting on all cylinders right now. But like, do you really want to bring his brother back now, bro? And like,
well, I was going to ask you, do you think they bring him back as just part of the group, like he helps Roman win and he just joins the group, or do you think he comes back and does a similar role to what Jay did when he was saying, "Come on, man, what are you doing? This isn't you," blah blah blah, and kind of tries to talk sense into his brother and to Roman, and comes back that way.
I think that could be good. I think it would be.
Could we get Jimmy versus Jay?
Now see, I would see that. I want to see that. Give me that.
Yeah, that's
Give me that.
different. That'll be
Give me that.
a banger. Do you think we see Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania? Definitely.
I can't call it.
It's difficult, isn't it? And if he is,
I mean, it's gonna be fans there.
Yeah. Is Paul Heyman going to be aligned with Brock Lesnar? Because I feel like if you do just align him,
now I think
that creates a problem with Roman.
Now I think we getting Brock and Roman at some time.
Yeah, we will, of course, because you can't put Paul Heyman back with Brock Lesnar and not mention it. And to me, as soon as he goes back with Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns has to have a problem with that. Otherwise, none of it makes sense. Unless Brock Lesnar is going to form a tag team with Roman Reigns, and he's not going to do that. So it's going to create a problem for him, and I'd be interested to see how they navigate it, because it does create a bit of an issue, like a logical issue, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But then saying that, when the hell have they ever given a flying fuck about logic? So they might just ignore it and say on Raw he's with Brock, and when he's on SmackDown he's with Roman. He's got multiple clients.
We got to talk about the Impact World Title match tonight, man. Sacrifice.
It's gonna be good shit, baby.
No, it's Rich Swann versus Moose and they're gonna unify the titles, and then the winner faces Kenny Omega in a double title match at Rebellion.
I didn't think they were going to unify that title. Do you know why I didn't think it? Because I assumed that they would use the TNA title. That's the one they brought back, wasn't it? The TNA World title. I assumed they were going to use that one to kind of
be filler.
Put that one on Kenny Omega and have him be the belt collector, but then still keep your Impact World Champion as your Impact World Champion. Do you see what I mean?
No, I thought it was gonna be the other way around. I think they were gonna use the TNA title as the main one until Omega, eventually drops the.
Is it Rebellion tonight?
Yeah, no. Rebellion's in April.
Which one's tonight?
Tonight is Swann versus Moose for the Impact and TNA World Heavyweight title, and it's gonna be unified. And
what event is it called?
Sacrifice.
That was it. I couldn't remember the name of it. I kept thinking Rebellion. But it's not. We get that in the UK as well. Woohoo! Yeah, TNA and Impact have always been quite popular in the UK, and they've always had like easy, accessible TV deals for people like myself. So, yeah, who do you see winning that? Moose or Swann?
I think they want to go. See, I want to say Rich Swann, but I can also see them going Moose versus Omega.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
don't want to beat Moose though. I don't think.
Omega already pinned Swann at Hard to Kill. So.
And they got to put the title on Omega, haven't they? At some point.
Omega's winning the title. Like that's.
So.
Come on,
you've got to think from Impact's point of view, like which one are they going to do it for? And I just feel like it would be better off on
Swann,
because taking it off Swann and keeping Moose.
Yeah, you're right.
Out with that because you don't want to have Moose losing. He's just special. Like, don't get me wrong, Rich Swann is special.
I know what you're saying.
Really talented, but
he already lost.
Moose is your guy, isn't he? Moose is your guy who's tied down to multi years. He's built like brick shit house. He's got the whole look. He's popular. Everyone knows him.
I was just gonna say on top of that, Omega already beat Swann, bro. So I mean, I guess there ain't no damage in doing this twice.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, with Okada working with two slip discs in his back.
Oh, I had that was how I ended up having that. My back fusion was because I had
for real.
Initially I had two slip discs.
Damn, bro.
But because I got misdiagnosed, one of the discs in my back, like sort of split or whatever, and the liquid leaked out of it.
Oh my
So
goodness, Jesus
that's
Christ!
why I ended up having
Are you
spinal
good?
surgery.
Are you good now? Like, does it feel better? Or
Well,
is it still like
I mean, I know I'm in pain all the time, but
Damn.
basically because why I had when I had the spinal fusion, so it happened in 2008. Then I had spinal. I didn't have my operation, my fusion, until 2013, and during that period of like 5 years, I had a lot of falls and things like this, and made it a lot worse, and
Damn.
physio when I shouldn't have. So a lot of the nerve damage around it is permanent. So I walk with like a walking stick, sometimes crutches or whatever. But is what it is. Like my life compared to before my spinal fusion is like night and day. Like I was walking on crutches, using a wheelchair sometimes, and my wife had to wash me, dress me, feed me sometimes, and cook all the food, do everything with the kids. Now I'm relatively independent most of the time.
I'm glad to hear that, bro. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. Congratulations on that too. By the way, I'm pretty sure shit. I'm pretty sure it's like
Shit was hard.
I know a lot of people probably focus on like the most of the physical aspect, but the mental shit is probably worse than
Oh yeah.
worse than anything, bro. So yeah, you know I be wrong. I talk to you off camera a lot about that stuff, about the mental health stuff. So I'm glad that you was able to overcome that, my brother. But for somebody who has went through that, like, and I don't know if you,
cannot believe that someone is able to wrestle with it, mate.
yeah, and I don't know if you know, because I know it's so much damn wrestling going on right now. But do you think it's best that that New Japan pull Okada from matches going forward, because they got a Tokyo Dome show coming up in May?
Yeah, they absolutely should.
Like, and you know they probably want to do well attendance wise in the dome.
Working with a slip disc, like obviously there's levels of how bad it could be.
Right.
There is like a very mild kind of thing of it, but it's still a slip disc in your spine. You land wrong, just land wrong from like a body slam or a back any back bump. Land wrong, could be paralyzed for life. Could have spinal stenosis for life. Like, you're not just talking about being able to wrestle, you're talking about like the rest of his life. For me, they should pull him and let him get, because it can, if it's mild, it can cure itself with like physio and rest. But like working week in, week out, just asking for trouble. For trouble.
And they recently took him out of he lost in the New Japan Cup, so he's out of that. So that's good. But yeah, I don't think it was I don't think it would have been a smart choice for him to him to be continuing to wrestle, especially because I'm sure that they would want to do well. They want to do good attendance wise in the Tokyo Dome coming up. I was kind of shocked that they were doing another Tokyo Dome show so soon. But I'm pretty sure like Okada's a big name, and I'm pretty sure they'll want him around for that show. I'm pretty sure they can do well attendance wise. They probably do a solid number attendance wise without him, but I'm pretty sure they would want him there for that big show.
Yeah, definitely. It's a tricky one, mate. It is tricky, but you got to look after these wrestlers, because they won't look after themselves. But going back to Impact, mate, and Sacrifice, it's quite a good card. Let's run through that, do some predictions. So you got the unification match. Are we going with Rich Swann?
Yeah.
Over Moose. Then you've got the Impact's knockout titles, tag team titles. We've got Fire and Flavor, which is Kiara Hogan and Tasha Steelz versus Jordan Grace and Jazz. Who you got there?
Jordan Grace and Jazz.
Then we got the men's tag team titles. The Good Brothers, Doc Gallows, Carl Anderson versus David Finlay Juice Robinson. The Good Brothers going to pick up the win.
Yeah.
The Good Brothers going to keep winning until Kenny Omega's.
Bro, I think it's going to be the Good Brothers versus the Bucks at Double or Nothing.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that's going to be a pretty damn good match, I got to be honest. Because the Good Brothers are going to want to prove a point on the big stage, in my opinion. Knockouts title, Deanna Purrazzo versus ODB. Deanna's going to win that, sure.
100%.
And then we got Ace Austin versus TJP for the X Division title.
Ace Austin, please get the title on TJP. Please, bro, have you seen some of the shit that this dude's posting?
Mate, I stopped reading most of it about 2-3 weeks ago. The boy, he needs help. He's a real ass. And that's me being polite. Like, the man's a fucking bellend. Seriously, like, Jesus. Then we've got a hold harness match. Eddie Edwards versus Brian Myers.
So I think I think it's a submission match. I think that's what that is.
Isn't it a no rules match or something, or where the company can't be responsible?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. That's what that is. But I think Brian Myers gonna win.
Yeah, I think so. Do you think we see Matt Cardona at some point in that match?
He's the I think he's a special enforcer.
Okay. Chris Sabin, James Storm versus Violent by Design, Dina and Joe Doran.
Dina and Joe Doran.
Yeah, I would say so. Then we got the New Decay, Black Taurus and Crazy Steve versus Reno Scum, Adam Thorstow and Luster the Legend. Surely the Black Taurus is going to destroy everyone.
Of course.
I really like Black Taurus. I've always liked the Decay gimmick though. I liked it with Abyss, and it's almost like a little bit of a shame that Abyss is obviously in WWE. But then I tell you what, if you were ever going to give the Fiend a stable, Decay would fit the bill nicely. Intergender tag team match: Havoc and Nevaeh versus Tennille Dashwood and Caleb with a K.
Havoc and Nevaeh, because Caleb is definitely taking that pin.
Taking the L.
Hey, bro, wait, real quick, before we wrap up. Bro, Kaylee Ray is about to have 3 years as NXT UK Women's Champion this August, bro. That shit is crazy. She's been champion. Right? Bro, she won the title in August 2019, bro.
Jesus
Oh, it's 2 years, my bad. 2 years, my bad. It's 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 years, my bad, not 3. 2 years.
Still, 2 years is still a long run, isn't it?
Bro, that's a long
ass run.
Like, if you was booking NXT UK, you might as well just let her hit the thing, right? Like, it's no point in taking the title off her now, bro.
Don't take the title off her until you've got someone like propped and ready who's hot. May as well wait until fans are back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because that's going to be such a big moment. Like, you may as well wait until one of those UK takeovers where the fans are going nuts. Do you know what I mean?
Bro, it's a damn shame, bro, because she's like really good, but like nobody watches NXT UK consistently.
Yeah, it's frustrating, isn't it? They watch the takeovers though, which is why I would do it at a takeover. If
they do the takeover Dublin in June, would you go to that, or are you not messing with this stuff? It's COVID.
No,
right now?
I wouldn't mess with that just yet. I want to go to one, but I wouldn't go.
Not right now, right?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. One thing we haven't talked about, which we should have, is the AEW had that pay-per-view, obviously, on last Saturday. So let's just quickly talk about that. Obviously, we have to start with the main event and the lack of explosion. What did you think of that when you saw it? Like, the first time you saw that?
I laughed.
I was just like, because the angle would have been so good if the explosion had worked. Like, Eddie
Kingston.
Eddie Kingston was...
You said say Eddie Edwards.
Eddie Kingston did it so well, mate. It was perfect. And then it just was like a damp squid. It was so gutting. I felt sorry for him because it was clear when it didn't work. He didn't know whether to keep selling.
Right,
Because he wouldn't have known because he wasn't looking. He would have heard some fireworks go off. Like, he wouldn't have necessarily heard it not happen, if that makes sense. Overall, though, I thought the show was pretty good. Thought it was a pretty good show. There was some stuff I really enjoyed. I love Maki Ito. Just very enjoyable.
She's funny,
to
bro.
watch.
She's funny.
Just entertaining stuff.
What you think about Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker in the unsanctioned lights out match? This main event.
I'm glad they're giving the women some proper spotlight, and it's the right two women as well. Britt Baker is special. Thunder Rosa is special. They can both go in the ring.
I'm just
annoyed that it's not for the title because Britt Baker should be champion by now.
I say, speaking of Thunder Rosa, do you have any interest in the NWA that they coming back? Yeah,
Yeah, I
like
will. I'll check it out. It's just for me, it's just finding the time.
it's too much
to
wrestling
watch
going on. Yeah.
it. Yeah, I just don't have time. Like,
And then they got
I really
AEW
enjoy
Dark
Impact,
Elevation
mate.
coming up, bro. Like,
Yeah, I don't watch AEW Dark. I try to watch Impact. I struggle because I just don't have time. I really have been enjoying Impact over the last year or so, but I just don't have the time to do it all.
right.
I really enjoyed the Young Bucks versus Inner Circle tag team match. I thought that was quite good. It was a good opener. The Casino tag team battle royal, whatever. Battle royals they're not really up for that. I was glad Death Triangle won though, and they seem to be doing something with them.
They had a decent little story in there with QT Marshall.
Yeah, and he had QT Marshall turned on
Lee Johnson.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting. It's a little bit disappointing. Maybe I wondered whether it made Dark Order look a bit weak when you've got 3 teams in there, but none of them make it to the end. But it is what it is. I'm kind of interested. I like Death Triangle. I'm kind of intrigued that they are going with Pac and Phoenix as the tag team, and Pentagon or Penta is
the singles talent.
The singles guy, yeah. And I quite like that as like a little, change it up a bit.
It's different, bro. I like it.
And I kind of like Penta with what's the guy's name?
Alex Abrahantes.
Yeah, I like him with him. I think that's kind of quite good. And I just liked him in a suit with his mask and like giving it the heel. I quite like that on Dynamite. The women's title match between Shida and Mizunami, I thought it was alright. I thought it was pretty good. I just wish it
dragged a little bit.
Yeah, it was a little bit long. It just annoys me a bit. Like, I do feel like Britt Baker should have won that tournament. Like, I do feel like she should already have been their champion. Like, she's got everything they need to push that division forward. So that's a little bit frustrating. You had like Nyla Rose and Britt and a few others come out and they did a beatdown thing at the end. What do we make of Miro and Kip Sabian versus Chuck Taylor? Because Miro has taken a bit of criticism, maybe saying that he's still not doing what he can.
Bro, you wanna know what's funny about that? Like I've never thought his run in AEW has been disappointing because I've never viewed him as a main event talent. I've always viewed him as that guy in the mid-card US, like that you say the US title, IC title, TNT title,
like mid-card.
I've always viewed him like that. Like I've always seen him as he can float into the world title scene, but not be world champion. And like I just never seen his run as AEW disappointing because I feel like this is exactly what he's supposed to be doing. Like I just never viewed him in that light to even think it would be a disappointment. Like I don't know if that makes sense, but that's
I know exactly what you're saying, mate, and I kind of agree as well.
And no, like slack on him. It's just like I just don't view him in that.
But I think he's got the charisma and the ability to be that. He's just never quite been given the right gimmick and story to push on and do it.
I feel like
his best opportunity would have been as a baby face with Lana.
I feel like if they were going to do that, it should have just been the Rusev Day stuff. Like if that was ever going to happen.
Yeah, that was the time when it is to keep them as a trio, have Lana and Aiden English be as kind of managers. That was the time. Or if you were going to do it as a heel when he first came in as the Bulgarian Brute, like he could have done it then. But Hangman versus Matt Hardy, I've enjoyed that storyline. I'm still enjoying that storyline. And I'll be interested where Matt Hardy goes next because I like the way he keeps evolving his character into different weird stuff. I wonder whether... Do you think they might do the broken gimmick all over again, but like by they're like telling the story where he's going to break now and they'll kind of retell it in a different way?
Will we repeat your question real quick?
I was just asking if you think they might retell the broken Matt Hardy gimmick, but like sort of retell the origin and stuff. But yeah, I just wondered whether you thought they might do. They might retell that gimmick basically.
I think I'll do cute on the big money match stuff.
Yeah, I like Matt Hardy and stuff. Sometimes sometimes his stuff hits, sometimes it doesn't. Right, let's get ready to rumble. I appreciate your time as ever, my friend. It's always good to chat. Guys, check out Andrew's YouTube channel, youtube.com/Andrew Thompson. Interviews for the best wrestling and interviews on the internet. Top stuff from the man. I encourage you to subscribe, and you can follow him at @ADThompson __ on social media. Subscribe, youtube.com/AcePodcastNation for all our shows, and you can also follow this show on Twitter at Keepin It Real _, but Real has got 2 A's because we are double bad or something, I don't know. Double, the extra A is for Andrew. That's what it is. Yep. Guys, thank you. It's been a pleasure as ever. Andrew, you're a legend, a goat, a hero, and I appreciate your time.
Peace, my good man. Much love.
All in my business, you be all in your feelings. I've been all in them trenches.